Imagine you could only visit 5 countries for the rest of your life. Where would you go? And why would you choose those? Meaning that when you landed in an airport, you could only exit that airport in 5 different locations. This is a fun little conversation that a few friends and I had last week, and it got me thinking, where would I actually choose? And I know what you're thinking, this seems like a crazy scenario that would never happen, but not too long ago with the COVID pandemic, a lot of people got trapped to their countries of residency. And I'm going to talk about the 5 countries and why exactly would I choose these countries to actually go about being the 5 countries that I could visit for the rest of my life. Now let's get into the rules of this kind of scenario, meaning that nothing really changes. I'm a resident of the United States. I'm a citizen of the US, meaning that I'm still limited by this sort of visa process. So if I wanted to spend time in another country, I'm also going to use that as consideration. For example, if I wanted to go somewhere in Europe, I still only get 90 days to spend there. And so I'm going to use that in kind of this decision factor. The prices are still going to be real. Everything else is going to be the same. It's just I'm only limited to 5 countries. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name's Mike Swagunski. I'm the best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and entrepreneur who's been working and traveling in more than 100 different countries. And so if you're new to the channel, you want to learn about making money online and how to do it while traveling, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. One of my favorite countries in the world is full of pristine beaches, has some of the best food of any country I've ever been to, and costs a fraction of the price, and even 13 times cheaper than the United States. Now, the country I'm talking about is Thailand, one of my favorite countries, and one of the countries I would select for if I could only visit 5 countries, Thailand would be high on my list. And you might be wondering, why Thailand? One of the main things I love about Thailand, and I usually go there, is during the winters, where the rainy season is finished, the weather and climate is really great, around 80 to 85 degrees, depending on where you go. The cost of living and value is extremely high, meaning you get a super high quality of food, accommodation, everything and service for a fraction of the price, meaning it's a very low price for a very high quality. And so this is the many things I love about Thailand. I also love about all the cool activities there. There's so many great beaches, forests to explore, a super rich history, amazing food that really doesn't cost that much, but is absolutely so delicious. And all the other cool things is I have a ton of networking and friends that are based out of Thailand, meaning that every time I go there, I'm able to catch up with friends, but not only friends, people who are actually building and growing online businesses. So there's a lot of synergy between just being around those people and getting into the same rooms. One of the things that I love about Thailand is there's always these types of cool events happening. You can travel around the country fairly easily. You can take a flight from Bangkok to Koh Samui or to Phuket. There's always cool events like festivals, music events. It seems like every week there's some type of new thing happening in Thailand. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about the country. So Thailand is high on my list for all of these reasons. And if you haven't been there, I highly recommend checking it out. One of the limitations for Thailand, though, is the visa. So I need to keep this in mind for my decision-making process. Meaning, typically, if you go to Thailand, you actually only get 30 days to spend there with just your passport. There's a lot of different techniques and methods to extend this. You can actually apply for a visa before you go to Thailand. That'll get you 60 days. Then you can extend that for another 30 days, giving you 90 days in total. Or you can get there, you can leave, you can fly back in. So you get 30 days, you leave, you come back, you get another 30 days. The system that I'm going to use on my upcoming trip to Thailand is going to be likely spending 60 days there, getting the 30 days, extending it 30, then taking a quick trip overseas to Singapore or somewhere, coming back, and then getting another additional 30 days. So that brings you to 90 days total. Overall, the visa stuff can be a little annoying, but they have a ton of great options, from digital nomad visas, the long-term visas that you can pay for that allow you to stay there for 5 to 10 years. One of my favorite countries, and more importantly, favorite cities, is actually the most beautiful city I've ever seen in my life. And again, I've been to more than 100 different countries, so that's saying a lot when I say this is the most beautiful city. The city I'm talking about is Prague, which is located in the Czech Republic. Prague is really a fairy tale city with one of the most well-preserved medieval architectures. They have the iconic Charles Bridge, a vibrant cultural scene, and beyond Prague, there's some beautiful things outside of the cities, like historical towns like Český Krumlov. And I know Czech's not super famous for the food, they're more famous for their beer, but I love some of their food like goulash and spíčková, and their dumplings are alone a reason to visit one of the most beautiful, breathtaking cities in the world. Now, there's a lot of things I love about Prague, and after living there for more than 2.5, 3 years, it's come to be one of my favorite cities and countries in the world. Now, a few things that I love about Prague, outside of it just being a very stunning, beautiful city, is there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of great people there. There's always something happening. There's so many people there that it's very vibrant. There's just something in the atmosphere. Within 30 minutes to a few hours, you can be in other cities outside of Prague. They have a really good train system that allows you to travel around Europe. And overall, it's fairly easy to get in there, get set up, and start living a really great life. On the flip side, it has become crazy expensive. All of the tourists flooding into Prague and the Czech Republic has absolutely made rent prices and certain prices in the city center crazy. You can still find some good deals a little bit outside of those areas. But again, that's one thing that has probably kept me from going back there long term. I still go there almost every year now because I love visiting it. And it's still one of my favorite destinations, either as a tourist or as an expat. Another one of my favorite countries is good at just about everything, from food, drinks, culture, history, experiences. They have great beaches, beautiful mountains, and an amazing transport system. The country I'm talking about is Italy. Now, I've been to just about 50 different cities and locations in Italy over the past 15 years, and I absolutely love Italy. Imagine spending your days exploring the ruins of Rome, the canals of Venice, and the Renaissance art of Florence. Italy is not just a feast for the eyes, but it's also the palate. With world-renowned wines, cheeses, pastas, pizzas, each region of Italy offers a distinct flavor of Italian culture, making it endlessly fascinating. Overall, Italy just checks so many great boxes. They have just about everything, and they excel in just about every way possible. I love Italy, and this would be a great place to spend 90 days out of the year, every single year. And I just got back from a trip from there, and I absolutely loved it. A few highlights of this trip were visiting the Italian Dolomites and going back to the city where I studied abroad 15 years ago, called Bergamo. Bergamo is one of these cities that most people don't go to. It's 45 minutes outside of Milan, but it's what you imagine of a very historical, scenic Italian town. It's kind of what is shown in the movies, and if you've only been to Rome or Milan, you're really missing out on the authentic Italy, and Bergamo is accessible by just 30 to 45 minute train ride. So what are the cons or downsides of Italy? Again, it can be pretty expensive depending on where you live. If you're living in the north of Italy, the cost of living is going to be much higher. And essentially, you're going to have a smaller apartment that's probably going to be a lot more expensive than certain parts of the world. The other thing is, Italy's kind of renowned for its bureaucracy, meaning to get anything done, it's kind of a complicated, messy system. So if you're going to live there longer term, things can get a little bit frustrating. So I would say if you're going for 1 to 3 months, probably not a big deal. But if you're trying to move your whole life there, set up bank accounts, have a family, go to school, go to universities, that's going to get a little bit more complicated. Another one of my favorite countries, which you've never heard of, is a country that actually invented wine. They have delicious food, and for only 4 million people, they have black sand beaches, they have gorgeous mountain deserts, and just about every landscape imaginable. And the country I'm talking about is Georgia. Not the state, but the country of Georgia that's located in between Europe and Asia. Georgia is a hidden gem at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, steeped in history and tradition, known for its hospitable people and stunning landscapes from mountains to vineyards. Georgia offers unique cuisine that deserves global recognition. Some of my favorite foods are hachapuri and khinkali, which is dumplings and essentially a pizza, but a little bit different. And its wine culture will impress anybody out there because it is some of the best wine for the actual price that anywhere in the world. They have a unique sort of wine process that's also pretty fascinating. Overall, I've been living and been based in Georgia for 4 years. It's a country that I absolutely love. I love the people. I love how easy things are here. There's not really much bureaucracy. You can set up a bank account. You can get your apartment in a few weeks. There's really an ease to just getting set up here. Things tend to work pretty well. On the flip side, they're still a developing country. The water goes out, electricity goes out, things stop working. But in general, it's a fairly affordable and really safe destination. So overall, Georgia is one of those countries that if I had to choose, it would be on my top 5 list. If I could only spend time in 5 countries, one of those countries would be the United States. This is because I have so many friends, family, and relatives there that I absolutely would have to choose this as a destination. I see a future of always going back to the United States, whether it's for a couple weeks or a few months. I love my time when I'm back there because I get to really spend that time with some of my favorite people in the world. Having the US on this list is absolutely essential for me because of that. There's a lot of reasons that I don't live in the United States, but again, it would have to be essential for me to go back there to see some of these people. So that's why it made it on the list. I absolutely love America and I love being from there. It's opened up so many opportunities to live a life that I've chosen to build. So overall, I really think America has a lot of options, but it just isn't that appealing for me to live there longer term or in the near future. So the US is one of the most diverse countries in the world, not just from the people, but also from the serene landscapes and national parks. It's essentially a cultural melting pot with endless culinary and entertainment options, whether it's the innovation hub of Silicon Valley or the historical sites in Washington, D.C., or the super famous monuments in New York City. The US has something for everyone. I completely agree. The US is a great place, but growing up there, I think I just got used to the American culture where it doesn't excite me as much as other people going there for their first time. So overall, I hope this list inspires you to kind of think about what destinations would you want to spend time in if you could only pick 5 certain countries to live in for the rest of your life. Where would you go? Why would you choose? And I would love to see your list. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your top 5 countries are. And again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit subscribe for the new videos I'm putting out every single week.